Can I ask you a question? Why won't men help women anymore? What happened to all the men that were protectors and providers? We as men have to start stepping up and being there for these women. I mean, it's come to a point to where we've really slacked as men, and we've really let women down. And this next clip is going to show us just how far as men we've sunk. Hold on tight.
Good morning. Let's go over this text message conversation. I really need help, bitch. Of course you do. I don't respond. Can I borrow $60? For what? Plan B, the guy blocked me and I have literally no money. Please, I'm scared. So you spent your time and probably gas money, I assume this nigga has no car, to get cracked by a nigga that has no money and don't care about you. You told him I need a plan B. He blocked you. I'm sorry, it's not funny. And then your next thought was, you know what? Let me text James and he's going to solve my problem. You're on hard drugs. Obviously, you are on like everything under the sun to even think that this is going to go in your favor, because it's not. And this is the type of shit, I'm getting my number changed.
Oh, wait a minute. Wrong clip. It seems like our dear brother James here almost fell into sympatry, but he avoided it. A modern woman who is a part of the female loser epidemic tried to get this man to pay for something that she shouldn't have been doing. Try to get him to pay for her mistake, and he didn't simp for her. We have to send a congratulations to our dear brother James. You did well. Nice staying out of the nonsense that she's got going on for her life and not becoming an accessory to the female loser epidemic. Next clip.
Men don't approach women.
Do you smile?
And we're
okay. Show me. Okay, let's play. I'm the guy. Let's do it. Let's do a
I
little
need
role
to know
play.
what I'm
no,
doing
no.
wrong.
I got to see.
I do.
I need to see your signal.
Okay.
Okay. Your 5-second flirt. So
Okay.
the 5-second flirt.
I'll make direct eye contact.
Okay. So eye contact, smile
Yes.
for 5 seconds.
Yes.
I'll count it. Then look away.
Wait,
then look away.
Direct eye contact for 5 seconds?
That's what you have to do.
That's basically me making the first
and by the
move.
way, that's weeding out the hunters from the gatherers. So if you're looking at a man, he's not coming over. There's 4 reasons why. 1, okay, he's switch hitting for the wrong team.
Okay, yeah.
2, he's taken. He's girlfriend, wife, whatever.
Okay.
3, he is passive aggressive. You don't want those.
Like a little bitch?
No, he's feminine energy and he wants you to come
like
to
a little
him.
bitch. Yeah, okay.
Well, I don't call that a little bitch.
them a
I
little
call
bitch.
that, like, a lot of them are shy. You don't want a shy guy.
I
Okay,
call a shy
so
guy a
these are
little
the
bitch.
reasons why they don't come over.
Okay.
Or the 4th,
I'm unapproachable.
you're not his type. He likes brunettes.
The
Okay,
type
so
of thing that I'm not their
okay,
type or my
so those
type.
are the 4 reasons. Got the 4 reasons.
Okay.
Okay. So now I'm going to do it with you. I'm the man. I'm like casually drinking,
Okay.
looking like who's your dream guy? Give me your
There's so
celebrity
many.
crush.
There's so
Come on,
many.
celebrity crush. What is it?
Who's the guy? Hardy. What's his name?
Hardy.
Tom Hardy.
Oh, Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy.
Oh, yeah, but he
So
kind of
hot.
likes boys. He made a comment about that.
What?
Yeah, Google it. It's not good.
He's
but
married.
I know, but he
To
liked
a really
boys.
hot
But a lot of
woman.
those boys that went to boys' schools, like he was like, he's tested the water.
He's a little
but he's
gay.
married. But I
Still
love
hot.
him because Mobland is
Still
my
hot.
favorite show. Mobland is my favorite show.
So
okay,
hot.
all right. So,
Okay.
all right. So he's married. Okay, forget that.
Okay.
There is a 2.0 version with better teeth with Tom Hardy. Okay, 2.0 version, and
Okay.
he's taller.
Still has an accent.
Yeah, he's in the 6'1" category.
Okay.
He's
Okay.
taller.
Hot.
Okay, but he's still got the British accent. Okay, he's still got the British
Okay.
accent. Okay, all right. So I'm at the
I'm
club.
nervous. I'm
What?
literally getting nervous.
Okay, I'm painting a picture. This is
Okay.
why because you're only going to do this with the one you really want.
Okay.
Okay. So now you're not buzzed. You're calm. You've only had maybe half a drink.
Okay.
You're clear-headed.
Okay.
I now spot you, and then I'm going to count, and you're going to smile. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
5 seconds is a long time.
Okay, now look away. Okay, now that sucked. So now pretend
That sucked.
That sucked. You have no, like, you really need to be like.
Well, keys to getting through to a woman, if you're single, is she has to be more attracted to you than you are her. So how do you have that dynamic? You got to become attractive, bro. Here's a secret of mine. I don't holler at women. I haven't hollered at a woman in probably 3 years. I'll say about two years. I haven't approached a woman in 2 years.
Let them pick you.
They have to, because I'm not coming to you. Most people be like, oh, that's misogynistic. Hold on. So I need to holler at you to take you on a date, to pay all the bills, to put my life on the line, and I still got to holler at you to do all that? So I got to approach you to take you out to spend all my money. And if we get together, I got to pay all the bills. And then if somebody breaks in the house, I got to go fight the Why would I approach you? I'm the one with all the assets. That's why I don't approach women.
Y'all always doing that shit. Like, I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. Like, as a woman, see, look at your face. How it's all scrunched up. Like I'm about to say some dumb shit, right? That's exactly what we talking about. Y'all gotta stop saying that shit. It's shit nutty.
Decenter men, and yet all they do is talk about how they've decentered men and they don't care about men and men ain't shit and man this, man that. But no, baby, totally decentered men by making your entire personality now centered around hating men. How does that work? How does that work?
Some man hit on me in the grocery store today, or he was trying to. Like, oh, you're so beautiful. And I just looked at him and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Just looking at him dead in the eye. No, I said, I think, oh, it's interesting that you think that. I've been practicing lately this, just like giving men like nothing to work with. Because, they're already like really bad conversationalists most of the time anyways. But if you kind of act like it's never happened to you, like you've never been hit on before, if someone's like, can I get your number? And you're like, for what? Oh my gosh, why? This guy just had to give up and start asking me about like what I was buying because he was like, If you interrupt any pattern with men, like usually they'll like glitch out, I find. I mean, most people, but men especially. But also this works with men in your life, like just listening to them and look. I think women need to start behaving differently. I hate to say this because they're half the species, but men waste a lot of our time. They're like abusive and weird. It's just like, oh, not you talking to me. I feel like we need to present as something otherworldly, which we are. Just like, oh, is that what you think? Oh, you just wanted to share your thoughts. And just like leave it there with them. Just go, wonderful, and then you just walk away. So why are you talking to random women? I saw you, I liked you, and I want you. It's a flower or a tree. Like, am I expecting them to say thank you back? So I'm like, you're so beautiful, babe. Probably just like, okay, girl, glad you think that. Moving along. Oh, also not looking at them when you talk to them. Or worse, like looking right through them. But this is like a hard one to do. That takes practice. Because actually, even woman to woman, if you give the wrong woman a compliment and she just looks at you like, doesn't say anything, and you're just like, ooh, I feel like an idiot. Which you should not. But maybe men, I think men should. Sometimes. A lot of the time. Sorry. No, I'm not sorry, because even you good ones, you're not doing enough work to get rid of the bad ones.
So when I think back to all of the guys that have actually approached me like in the wild and it actually worked, this is the common denominator of why I think it actually worked. And if you want more videos on how to understand women and what attracts us, hit that follow button. The first is they all like kind of caught me off guard. Like I wasn't, out with my friends at night, like looking cute. Like if anything, I was like, like one time I was out on a treadmill and the guy was like on the treadmill next to me. And so like my guard was down. Like I wasn't expecting to be approached. That headspace, I was just much more open to receiving. The second thing is that they never mentioned like my looks. Like it wasn't like hey, I think you're really cute. If anything, they started the approach with like a question pertaining a situation or the environment that we were in. What is this stupid hair? One time I was in another country and I was just walking around and this guy was like, hey, are you American? And we ended up getting into a conversation. He found out I was Jewish and was like, oh, Jewish, like took my hand, spun me around, was like, I like that. All of them started with a question that led into a conversation, which kind of leads me to my third one, which is none of them had this like dependency on the outcome. Like their validation wasn't going to live and die with my approval of them or like my response to the cold approach. Like they were going to have a good time no matter what.
In response to all of these like marriage camps that the Heritage Foundation wants people to go to, if you're unmarried, you're gonna go to a marriage camp and like basically be forced to get married. I wish everyone just realized like the reason why nobody's getting married anymore is men's fault. It's not women's fault. I myself am not married. I would be married if men knew how to act right. And I know every one of my single girlfriends would probably be married for the most part if men knew how to act right. And instead we like blame it on the women, but it's the men's problem. First of all, men do not know how to deal with their emotions. The amount of like men who I know who are still single, it's because they're like Peter Pan syndrome and just like emotionally stunted. Like we've not taught men how to keep growing and evolving and how to like build partnerships for the most part. And that's why you have this epidemic of male loneliness. And on top of that, they're really useless now. Like women have to go and do everything themselves already, and then men still want to be taken care of. So like, I don't know how many men I've dated who like want the princess treatment of some sort, and it's so incredibly frustrating. Which just makes women be like, okay, great, what can you bring to the table nowadays? Nothing. Men bring almost nothing to the table that I can't provide for myself. And all women are recognizing that. So the issue is not, but I think all women would like to have a partner. Like we love this idea of a romance. Like I would love a man who acts right to like sweep me off my feet. Who wouldn't? All of my friends probably would, but it's the men's fault. And I just hate that we keep blaming it on the women. So you know what? Instead of marriage camps, let's just do like a male boot camp and like have men learn how to be functioning members of the society.
Why men hesitate to approach women? Because the cost of getting it wrong is so much higher than the reward of actually getting it right. Because rejection is usually public now. You don't know if she's filming you. She posts it on social media, goes viral, and everyone looks at you as a creep or some other terminology. All because you thought she was pretty and wanted to buy her a dinner or something. She'll also say no. Because the rules are inconsistent. What works for one man doesn't work for another. What works with one woman does not work for another. So every interaction for him is eggshells. And not only that, but he's supposed to approach it confidently. How do you be confident with something where the rules are constantly changing? Because men are told to be bold, but also don't bother her, don't harass her, don't make her feel uncomfortable. Well, what does that even mean? Because men genuinely don't want to ruin your day or interrupt your reading or interrupt your scrolling. So they're not going to risk approaching you.
Men are trying to get you to take accountability. They're trying to get you to take some accountability. But it looks like you're not going to do that today. You guys ever figure out or think, maybe today is going to be the day that I decide to say, I was wrong. I could have done better. I could have improved. Y'all ever think about that? Or is it always, oh, dang, you know, I was wrong. I was. You got me there. But I wouldn't have done it if you hadn't have done this. So it's really you that's the problem. You're at fault. And you need to fix that before I fix myself. You need to get in your masculine before I get in my feminine. You need to act right before I decide to be a lady.
Oh, and another thing, I hope y'all know that no generation of men before this generation has complained about wigs and makeup.
I love Cleopatra, but this is just not true. Auntie got to tell you something. It's not true, baby. Now, I haven't always been a lot girly, and I am auntie. I spent most of my adulthood wearing weaves and sew-ins and stuff. Men have always had a problem with it. Back in the day, we would lie and say we didn't have a weave when we had one because men had such a problem with it. And if you look at how we wore our makeup back in the day, it was very, very light. Because a nigga was quick to call you a drag queen if you were quote unquote doing too much. Our makeup consisted of a little bit of foundation, some eyeliner, some mascara, some lip gloss, maybe a little lip liner, and that's it. We were never doing all of the contouring and, you know, highlighting and all of the makeup you're doing today. And I do it too. I'm not saying I don't do it. I do it too. But back in the day it was very different. The expectation was to look natural. Like, even if you had those things on, I better not be able to tell. So yeah, they always had a problem. It's not new. I promise you. It's not new. You would get called all types of names like Weavy Wonder and all that stuff if they found out you had a weave. Even lip gloss. I remember a guy asking me straight up, why you have so much lip gloss on? Like, and this was like 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, they always had a problem. It was always, I like a more natural woman. It was always that. And in this current generation, women are more open and vocal about being far from natural. Big lashes, lots of makeup, lots of wigs where you can kind of see, like you can clearly see it's a wig, which is, it's whatever. But we weren't doing that back in the day. We weren't. But at the end of the day, who gives a fuck? Do y'all? It is what it is.
So I just had a quick question. Like, I was sitting here and I was thinking, I was wondering, like, for my girlies, what is y'all problem with 50-50? And I be hearing y'all talk about it, and I'm just like, I can't find a problem, because the way that I'm paying 100% right now is like 50-50 would be a blessing. Like, I just imagine somebody taking my income and doubling it and telling me I only got to pay half of everything I'm paying right now. Wow. That's, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Somebody get in the comments and help me. Because when I say love, I love it.
The statistics show that only 1 in 4 Black women get married in America. Not are married, just get married. About 25% of Black women get married in America. And you might be wondering why I talk about dating the way that I do, why I share some dating experiences, not too much, or just talk about dating in the Black community a lot in general. And I just want to say, I need everyone to go watch Kev on Stage's video about going to the doctor. That is the pool, not the entire pool, don't get that twisted, but that is the medium section of the pool that we have to deal with, whether you are in Alabama or in Flatbush and even Manhattan. That's the dating pool. And so then you wonder why 1 in 4 Black women remain unmarried. Because they're so worried about going to the doctor and somehow some random man's finger is going to be up their batty hole. Yeah. Make it make sense.
And once again, you're not married because you're not married. That don't have anything to do with Black people or Black men. You're not married because you're not married. And honestly, we see the ignorance of some of these women and how they talk. Well, this is why I'm not married. The video that she's referencing is a comedian, Kev on Stage. And most of the time he makes jokes about, whatever. It's mostly a quote unquote Christian comic, right? But now more and more he's talking about the Black community, how to, do certain things. Hey man, I'm an influencer and, I'm doing certain things and I'm doing it scared. So you get out there and build your dream. This is my whole history. I didn't start in comedy. I didn't start doing these things. Just really positive stuff and really giving people the blueprint on how to be successful and go after their dreams. So one of the things that he did was talk about going for his annual physical exam. And some idiot in the comment, or I should say a couple of idiots in the comments, one particular comment he highlighted, the man was talking about, Kevin's talking about going and getting an anal exam. Stupid. But you take that comment and you say, well, see, this is why Black women ain't getting married. No, you're not getting married because you're not fit to be a wife. You're not getting married because you're not fit to be somebody's helpmate, to be somebody's support system. That's why. If you tell the whole story, you'll see that when Kevin came back and he made another video responding to that comment, and then he had another Black man, Tony Baker, back him up and say, nah, this is a stupid take. Kevin is too nice. This is how I'm going to say it. And semi-cuss that dude out. And if that wasn't enough, another one of Kevin's friends, her husband, Angel, he does, I think he still does a show with that chick Angel. She's another kind of comedian. Did a show with him one time or a couple of times, on tour with him right now. Her husband stitched the video again after Tony Baker said something and said, now see, Tony and Kevin are too nice. and proceeded to cuss the young man out again. So he was backed up by black men. And if that wasn't enough, you can click on the video and see black men co-signing. Yeah, man, I'll go get my annual physical and this, that. Y'all always find something stupid to talk about instead of just taking accountability for being a bad partner, for being a loser partner. And once again, we are in the middle of a female loser epidemic where accountability, or lack thereof, is running rampant in the lives of modern women.
3 days ago, I posted a video that went viral. It's no longer there anymore. I took it down. And I want to tell you why. I got a lot of attention on this video because it was me in a bikini, like recording my face, being like, I'm actively resisting posting a video or photo in my bikini for attention because I'm waiting for my future husband, which is so true. Like, I live in Southern California. I live in my swimsuit, and I was feeling myself that day. And honestly, a lot of girls and myself, we want to feel hot and are ready for the right attention, right? Or whatever. Anywho, the longer that it was up, the more that I felt hypocritical about the content, and the more air it was getting, I was like, this is probably just not helpful. I also had some friends kind of vocalize their thoughts and opinions, which, can be helpful and harmful. But I love my ecosystem so much. And as a believer, I feel called to a higher standard. And that higher standard does mean we are going to humble ourselves and love other people above ourselves and not be confusing and adding to confusion. And so that's what this is. I loved my little cheeky video, and I only created it out of overflow and didn't think it was going to go viral. And I probably would have taken it down out of embarrassment anyways. But I love my people more. And that's who I want to be more. I love myself more. I'm not trying to create confusion, and I love the Lord more. So this is my why video, and hopefully 2 people like this.
Because make men great again. Bring back the men who used to walk up fire escapes for women. Bring back the men who used to stand outside a girl's window with a boom box, singing love songs to her. Bring back men with backbones. Bring back the men who will not allow rejection to keep them from the woman of their dreams. Bring back the men who will see a beautiful woman sitting at the bar by herself and then go over there and talk to her or send a drink over to her. Bring those men back. Bring those men back who are not afraid of rejection. We like those men. We like them. It gives you 10 extra points. It gives you extra points to be a man like that.
The New York City conversation continues, and not just here on TikTok, at home with my husband. Today, we had another conversation about it, and he basically said, I think you're going through a midlife crisis. Do I think he's wrong? No. But do I think he's right? Also no. I don't think this is a midlife crisis. I call it more of a midlife reinvention, a midlife awakening. I call it what so many women go through when they hit their 40s and when their kids grow older, and it's just them, and they're starting to think about life and what they want and what the possibilities are. I am not the same person that he married. And in all fairness to him, I'm not. I mean, I started to ask him a question during our conversation, and I caught myself and I said, that's actually not a fair question. And the question had to do with what did you think would happen when you married someone with such big dreams and ideas and goals? That's not who I was when we got married. When I got married, I was a single mom of 2 kids, and literally I wanted a husband, I wanted a house, and I wanted my kids to be safe and taken care of, and that is it. I didn't care about my career. I didn't care about making money. I didn't care about social media. I didn't care about working with brands and building my own brand and all of that. I didn't care about any of that. That has all evolved in the last 3 to 5 years. And so I'm grappling with, I don't want to call it guilt, but really like, is that fair to ask of him? And also acknowledging and being respectful of the fact that there's no way he could have known what he was signing up for. I didn't even know what I was signing up for. So we are still in discussion, but I do think it's an important conversation just about midlife reinvention and what happens when you yourself change, when you yourself are a different person than when you get married. How do you navigate that as a couple? And especially as a couple who loves each other and respects each other and wants to find a way to make it work and stay together and be happy together. And it's a whole conversation. So I'm just curious, if you have been married for 10 plus years, like how have you navigated changes, and especially personal changes in who you are and what you want? Do you find that you have grown apart together? Like, any insights, please?
What we're seeing here is, once again, women who are non-committal to a long-term vision, very short-term thinking. And you hear, once again, that they're smarter than men. They're better than men. They mature more than men. This doesn't look like it. It looks like a man that says, hey, we've already built this life. Well, I was a single mom. Oh, I only wanted a house, and he provided all of that to you. Y'all built all of that together. Well, now I want to go over here and do this. You don't have that option anymore. What you need to try to do now, because I know you probably want to go to the city, start working with brands and all that stuff and doing this, and this. There's some things you're going to have to leave on the table. It just is. It just is. LeBron James, I'm sure he talked to his wife before going to Miami. I'm sure he talked to his wife before going to LA. Every move he made, I'm sure he talked to his wife before doing it. Hey, and he mentioned, hey, I think one time he was talking about, hey, we thinking about maybe going to some other team, or I think they might have been kicking around the idea of going to Golden State. And they say, oh, well, the kids are in school in LA. I don't know if that's going to work. Yeah, because, we signed on here. We moved here and we enjoyed here and we're stable here. Right? So if I want to go play for Golden State with Steph and Draymond and the boys, the kids going to have to stay in LA. The family's going to have to stay in LA. We're going to have to figure that out. And it's going to put a burden on our family. And ultimately, I think he decided, man, I'm going to have to stay in LA, because this is where the family is. But modern women don't respect any of that. They don't think about any of that. They just think about what I want to do whenever I want to do it.
I went on a TikTok live the other day, and the live was just saying we don't need men, misogyna all up in the live. And I was saying we need each other. I was saying men and women need each other. Mind you, I also got DMs for this, but it's okay, keep coming. I love answering you guys' questions or debating you guys, but I'm saying we need each other. We bring things to the table that the opposite sex of us doesn't. And that's just a fact. You know what they're saying? Oh, you're a people pleaser. I'm trying to please men? What? Because I'm saying we need each other? I mean, how do you think you were born, lady? And it's really sad. I really feel really bad for these people because it's definitely a trauma response to something that has happened to them with a man. And I see it all the time. And, that's how you feel. It's not right, though. You are debating off of emotions. Let's calm down. Let's put our emotions aside. You're not the only person who went through trauma, by the way. So let's calm down. And yes, women do need men. That's such a crazy concept for you guys to understand. It's true. And women telling you otherwise are unhappy women. Okay? And yes, men need women. We need each other.
Am I the only one that can't trust anything a man says or a man's opinion on anything? I'm happily married and I love my husband, and he's the one exception to the rule. I'm a man hater except for him. That's it. But for some reason it's their brains think differently. for like, except for, you know, obviously the exceptions to the rule, but majority of men, I'm just like, what? But what made me think about it was I was watching this guy's TikTok about a book recommendation. It's called The Daughter's War by something Bellham or some Bellman. I don't even know if it's good, but like right off the bat, I was like, a man's recommending a book? I don't even believe it. Like, if ever a man tells me something, genuinely, I think about it and I'm like, you probably didn't put much thought into it anyways, so I really don't believe you.
And it looks like you might have just gotten out of the shower. So instead of getting out of the shower, going and hanging out with your husband, or just talking to him and ending your night, you decide to go in the closet and talk a whole bunch of foolishness. Sounds about right.
How come y'all are never with the treatment that you're used to, right? Y'all come on here talking about the preferences and the things that you're accustomed to, but somehow you're never with those people or in that environment. You come on here and tell us your bad experiences and say, oh, this is what I'm used to, or this is what I got accustomed to, or this is what I've experienced, but you're never there. Somehow you're used to, and someone showed you this, and you were treated properly, but you are not there. So what happened to that what you're used to treatment that it had? Somehow they gave you what you're used to, but you still weren't happy. You still weren't satisfied. You're not in the environment of what you're used to. That's why nobody believes the things that y'all say, because you come on here talking about some great or familiar experience that you're used to, but you're not there. It just sounds like you want to sound better than or above it all, and because you're not getting that experience, you're once again on this internet complaining. Just shut up. Nobody asked you that information.
One thing a man said to me, and it actually kind of changed my perspective about a man about 40%. He said, y'all women give up coochie too fast. We fuck and I don't even know you. Then I get to know you and don't like who you are, so I leave. And y'all think I'm leaving because, oh, I just fucked and left. No, I'm leaving because I fucked and I didn't like who you are as a person. And best believe there are niggas just fucking and leaving. There's no, oh, that's just the answer. No. There's niggas definitely out there for sure. What the fuck? Just want to fucking leave. But there's some niggas that think like that. I'm just trying to put in your heads perspective. Nigga, y'all, some of y'all bitches do get out the coochie a little too fast. They don't even know you.
So as I'm driving to work, I'm realizing there is a key issue in my dating strategy. I'm the type of girl where I like to date my best homeboys. We locked in, that's evil twin for real. We might as well be together. The first one, we both knew we couldn't stay faithful. Open relationship. He got mad because I pulled more niggas and bitches than him. Twin, you knew that shit. You used to be the arm that I'd be holding on to while I was throwing that ass back at parties. What was the issue? The second one, that was my gaming homeboy, beat Red Dead with him in 2 weeks, seemed real cool, real calm and collective. The nigga got misogyny issues. How the fuck you got misogyny issues and you playing games with me and we whooping these niggas' asses and I'm better than you, bro? Talking about he gonna take my son to Colombia to show him that baddies can be bought. No, the fuck you won't. I bet you won't take shit that come out of my loins to Colombia.
So I wanted to talk about this because I'm 28 now, and I just see a lot of my friends that are 25 and younger, specifically women. I don't even want to put a gender on it, but it's just about dating. My thing is, my twin brother, bro, he graduated from law school. He went straight out of college. He still was not in his full career by the age of 25. You know what I mean? I think that with social media and things like that, we expect, these girls are coming on here saying that men need to be buying them Chanel bags, they need to be taking them on thousands and thousands of dollars worth of trips and all of these things extremely early on in the relationship. Let me tell you why I have a problem with this. No man at the age of 25, unless he is making money illegally, is going to have that extra to spend recklessly on a girl that he's not kingdom building with, a girl that he's not completely locked in with, a girl that he's not completely sure of. Now, there are some exceptions to this. The exception is if you come from an affluent area. The affluent area, then maybe, your parents have money, they're kind of funding the lifestyle, whatever. I typically see communities like this also get married a little bit younger, though, and have long-term, partners. They're not just giving their sons money to just go spend recklessly on girls that are not equally yoked to them economically. So, I'm just curious, for the girls that do think like that, Mind you, I'm an adult that has had men spend money on me, take me on trips, do things for me. These were men that were older than me, already in their careers, making legitimate money doing so. Or let's just call a spade a spade. They were trappers and scammers. So let's talk about it. Like, what do y'all really want from these men? Like, do you want DH Chanel bags because they don't really make the money for it? Do you want them to be spending all of their money on you, even though they should be kingdom building, putting it in a Roth IRA and saving it? Do you want someone who's using their parents' money to trick on you? Or do you really just want a trapper or a scammer? Like, let's just call a spade a spade. But we have to stop antagonizing and making men 25 years and younger that are doing things like the right way feel like it's not okay because we're demanding X, Y, and Z from them and they can't do it, and now we're deeming them unworthy of having a girl. Like, I think we've lost the plot, like, with that part. Relationships are about actually coming together and liking each other. Like, if you don't like that man, bro, just don't be with that man. Don't try to make it about he don't have enough money or he not spending enough money, X, Y, and Z. Because, baby, come on now.
If you live in LA, you might relate to this, but the amount of men that go on hot girl walks is insane. The amount of men I see every single time I'm driving, holding their little coffee, going on their little walk. Like, oh, and then they go to Air One and they have their hot girl dinner too. Welcome to LA!
So a few weeks ago, I had to end things with somebody that I was dating because he spent the night one night and then the next morning he used my bathroom, didn't flush the toilet, and left pee all over the seat, and then proceeded to lay in my bed and chill on his phone while I was in the kitchen cooking him breakfast. And then after he ate breakfast, he didn't even offer to help clean up and just left everything out on the counter. And until this happened, there really weren't any major red flags that I had noticed until I started reflecting on little things that were bothering me here and there of things that he was doing on our other dates. Because these weren't like outwardly huge red flags to the point where I was just going to stop talking to him. But now that I have all of this information and I'm putting all the pieces together, I'm like, okay, that's why all of these things were bothering me. So on our fourth date, we went bowling and we had to wait for our lane to be ready, and there was a bar in that same place, so we just decided to go sit at the bar. And he was like, are you gonna drink tonight? And anyone that knows me knows that I don't drink, but every once in a while I'll have something. So I was just like, you know what, sure, tonight I'll have a drink. He then tells me that he forgot his wallet at home that has his license in it, and he's gonna show his license on his phone to the bartender if like she tries to card us. And I looked at him and I was like, that's not gonna work. They're gonna require a physical copy of your license for this to work. So of course the lady cards us. He tries showing his ID on his phone and she's like, yeah, that's not gonna work. We're gonna need your actual license. And he didn't outwardly say anything, but I could tell that he was like fuming on the inside, which again, I feel like anyone knows in 2025 that typically you can't get away with showing your ID on your phone. So neither of us get a drink and we go over because there's a pool section right there and we start playing pool. A few minutes into playing, he is like, hey, I have an idea. What if you go to the bar and you order your drink, wait a few minutes, and then go up and order my drink? And I was like, that's not gonna work because they're totally gonna catch on to the fact that I'm ordering a drink for both you and me. But I agreed to it anyway because I was like, whatever. He made a comment about how he typically would never make me pay for my own drink, but because he left his wallet at home, that's unfortunately what had to be done. Mind you, this man has Apple Pay, and I'm guessing he probably had Venmo too. This kind of rubbed me the wrong way though, because I feel like because he made that comment about never making me pay for my own drink, he should have taken out his phone then and there and been like, hey, what's your Venmo? I'll pay you for the drink right now. But he didn't do that. So whatever, I go and get my drink. It was only $11. And while I'm getting my drink, our lane is ready. So he leaves to go get that set up. When we get to the lane, he puts in the wrong name for me in our game. Instead of Alexa, he wrote Alexis. Mind you, he had never called me Alexis once up until that point. And I called him out and I was like, you know, that's not my name, right? And he was like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. Like he was acting so like embarrassed. But I was like, this is weird because you've never once called me the wrong name. Then we start playing, and as we're playing, servers will come up to us and ask us like, hey, do you guys want anything to eat or drink? So naturally, he finally gets to order his drink and they don't card him. And this made me furious because I was like, first of all, why were you not able to wait like 15 or 20 minutes while we were waiting for our lane to be ready to get your precious alcohol. But instead you had to create this elaborate plan for me to go up there and buy my own drink and then go up and buy yours too, when in the end they were just going to be serving us alcohol anyway and not even be carding us for it. Also, we're bowling. Why do you need to drink alcohol? Like, why is that so important to you on a bowling date? So I was just super frustrated at that point. And typically this is not something I would bring up, but because the situation is over and I'm just so disgusted by this man, the final thing that made my ick go over the edge was how bad this man was at bowling. I'm not good at bowling. Like, I'm lucky sometimes if I can even break 100. This man was getting gutter balls like every single shot. In fact, I have never seen such horrific bowling form in my life. He like took the ball and had his arm bent and he was throwing the ball with the same leg. And here I was afraid that I was going to give him the ick playing bowling. Again, I'm not here to shame anyone's lack of athletic abilities because like I'm not super athletic and I'm typically not the best at these sorts of things. But if you're so bad to the point where I'm like breaking 100 and you maybe have 50 points, if that, like, oh my God. And again, like I said, typically this isn't something that would be considered like a huge ick for me, but because he did so many other things up to that point that had already made me so annoyed and given me the ick, it was just like the final straw. But yeah, I still have more things that this man did that were very subtle over the dates that we went on. But now that I've pieced it all together, it all makes sense.
And here you are getting on the internet, doing all that complaining and whining, and he still clapped those cheeks and then had you get up and make breakfast and then did not help you clean up. Men are going to hear this and be like, man, because you're going to try to raise your standards for the next person, and men are going to hear these types of stories from you. They're not going to listen to you.
I'm going to preface this by stating I don't condone cheating, right? However, I see that they saying that there's a big difference between a man and a woman cheating. Women don't get caught cheating because they're more sneaky, but that's not the case, right? When a man cheats, he's cheating with a side piece who knows that he's in a relationship, and in the beginning she's okay with being a side piece, but when her emotions gets involved, she wants to go up to your girlfriend as a woman, right? But she's not really coming up to her as a woman because she knew she was the side piece. What happened was her emotions got involved, and now she wants to go up to your girl in hopes, one, you will leave her first, and since you didn't, she goes up to her and tells her, oh, he's been cheating, I'm sorry, hoping that she's gonna leave you because her emotions got involved. When a woman cheats, she's cheating on you with another man, and a man doesn't talk. They don't really care. They're gonna pipe your woman and let her go back to you because in his head, he's not ever gonna wife her. He knows the kind of woman she is. There's the difference.
Talk about pressure. I feel like feminism was good for men because it kind of relieved them of a little bit of pressure.
Lifted everybody up.
Well,
yeah,
it
but
really
it's made men so much more depressed than ever. It's made them weaker.
I think they just don't like the fact that now they see, oh, women can be as good as us because now that we're allowed to have all these rights, we're graduating from college more than they are now.
Why do you have to be? Because we live in their world. And I'm saying because we live in this world with them where they are suppressing us. Their bar is up here. If our bar gets lifted, so does theirs. Our bar gets lifted, so does theirs.
Why do women need to be less than men?
Yeah.
Women are not less than men. They're different from men. We provide equal value, but we're different. You can't, it's no way that if you got a man that's your age, your height, whatever, he's going and you race him. You're not going to beat him. More times than not, they're going to dust you, which lets you know that you are not equal to them.
What can men do that we can't?
I mean, men build everything. We don't. Men protect us. They fight wars. We don't.
What do they protect us from? Other men?
No, women have always fought in wars. Women have built so many things.
Okay, so one thing that the woman in the pink wig said was how men have to protect us from other men, and I hear this a lot when it comes to feminists. And one comment I tried to get in, and it's very hard because you're trying to be respectful of everybody's time. I kind of try to say that men are also protecting us from ourselves. You know, that's what men protect us from, is us making radical decisions that are not conducive and destroy society. So they provide structure and order. If I can just be honest, it's kind of hard to have these kind of debates and discussions when you're a Christian in a secular conversation or, you know, with people that do not follow the word of God. But it is a man's world. So just like the curse of Eve, where women will always want to have dominion over man, but man will always rule. That's what they're fighting against. And I thought that was very interesting and funny, because the Bible literally says that this is something that women will always innately want, but it will just never happen. So what women are doing is, these feminists, what they don't understand that they're doing is that they're chasing a losing battle, essentially, because it's God, man, and then woman, and then children. And so it is sort of a man's world, just like Carmen said. And I love that she said this on the anti-feminist side, is that they'll always dust you. When women have these privileges and they have the free will to choose, they make emotionally impulsive decisions. That's why they're the ones that initiate divorce. They have the ability and the power to divorce, which we see through history women didn't. They have the power and ability to choose divorce, and they choose it. 80% or higher actually now is divorces are filed by women. So it lets you know that because of women's emotions, because of the desire for oxytocin, we crave happiness and what will make us feel happy. Other thing that the feminist said is that the bar always gets raised, but it's once again because it is not God's natural design for a woman to be able to rule over a man or be equal with the man. A man will always rule over a woman. So once again, it's a spiritual battle, I believe, that's going on within themselves. We see that women that are also now trying to rise to the occasion, they aren't getting married because they're no longer a complementary, right? Women being incredibly valuable because we bring life into this world, and men are there to cover and protect her because she births life. So they are over her. His strengths, he's stronger than her, can mentally, like we see, like Carmen said, that men are geniuses, that God designed that for a reason, so that women are supposed to have the cover and protection. Men being violent towards one another, that's all out of just pride and sin, like being in a fallen state and in a fallen world. It's there to essentially like protect a woman and keep her covered, because she's the carrier of life. We are of value. We're both of equal value, but incredibly different roles. I want to picture it like the man is this mighty tree and his branches flow over her, and God designed him like that, not for you to try to chop it down, because if you chop it down, you're the weaker vessel, so you're more fragile tree, but you're supposed to be under the covering of him, so that when wind blows and a storm comes, like he's the one taking all of the lashes, but he can handle it because he's stronger, and he's covering you, right? He's covering you. Maybe your tree holds different fruit, right? While his is just bigger branches and trees. So it's all in God's design and order. So when you, as the weaker vessel, try to chop down the man, it's never gonna happen. Try to chop down the man. You don't understand why it's not happening in spiritual. I'm telling you. You try to chop down the man, and then you yourself try to stand on your own. You're gonna realize how feeble and fragile that you are. You get pregnant for 9 months, you can't go do the labor jobs. You try to take men out from doing these hard jobs and stuff like that, society will fall. You don't want what you're asking for by trying to rise to the occasion and be like a man.
Modern women don't understand balance. That's the long and short of it. They don't understand balance. They don't understand equality, really, honestly and truly. They understand, okay, now I have the quote unquote right to speak. Now I have the right to make my demands. And here's my demands. And I believe that you owe me that. It don't matter if the man has been helping her. It don't matter if the man has been supporting her. You owe me. And I'm going to get what I'm owed. Or else I'm going to shame you. I'm going to trash you. And even when you give me what I say that I want, I'm going to take my power back. And I have the right to check out of this relationship, even though I signed on the dotted line. Even though you did nothing wrong. Well, it's okay. That's why they say it's okay to leave the good man. Because I don't want to be held responsible for having to hold up my end of the bargain. That's why you make up a whole bunch of stuff about, wow, he didn't do this, he didn't do that. Lying. You forget all your faults and all of the stuff that you got going on, and you blame everything on him. But that's feminism for
you. Guys don't have a healthy sex life, so you shouldn't be masturbating to porn.
Because that further instates me thinking that it's me. He doesn't like the way that I look.
Like, yeah, I can be a little bit emo here and there, you know, whatever, the makeup, the septum ring, the dyed hair, whatever, black clothes.
No. He was subscribed to emo.
But that's what I'm talking about, is I'm not what he wants. That's how I feel.
You know, you're cute. I really don't think that's the issue. I really don't. There is a separate... Do you feel pressured?
What do you mean?
Like, do you feel pressured to make up for, you know, to have sex?
Kinda, yeah, because I feel
that
like
can hurt it as well. If you're putting pressure on him, that can hurt it. It really can.
Like, I wouldn't say she's being too much of a burden about it, because she has stopped asking about it. But when she would ask about it, it was almost like a daily thing.
Well, how did that go?
She would just ask, like, if I wanted to do anything or
that's not bad to ask you. But was she complaining that you guys weren't?
Kinda. She would sometimes.
I would complain that we weren't, because we weren't doing anything for a month at a time.
Yeah.
And so that's what I told him last night. I don't ask anymore because I'm afraid of you saying no. Because it's not that I have a problem with you saying no. It's that every time I ask, you say no. So I don't want to make you uncomfortable, because we did have a conversation before. Before we moved in together, he said, I feel like it's getting to a point where, like, this is just something, like, you want all the time. And I told him, I don't want to make you feel that way. If that's something you don't want to do, and we don't talk about it like that anymore, because I don't want to make him feel uncomfortable. But
would you guys open up?
No, because
I get those fulfilled.
No, because I tried that before in a last relationship, and I
if
only
you don't
did it
do it in
because
a good way, then it fucks it. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he would want to.
Huh? What? I'm sorry. Oh. Honest take
about what, opening up?
Yeah. Nothing wrong with saying it'd be fun. I think it's fun.
Yeah,
I do. I think it's okay to open when healthy, close when we're deciding not to, open when good, and close when not. Like, that's fine.
Somebody in the comments said she looked like Billie Eilish. We don't have to lie now. We don't have to lie. But yeah, it seems like, first of all, it seems like he's checked out. Is what that looks like. It doesn't look like he's really all that attracted to her. Which is probably why he's saying no. When they first got into the relationship, you know, I feel like they probably got into that relationship. You know, maybe he needed something at some point in time and he started getting it on a regular, but then he didn't need it anymore. The dynamics changed. Maybe she changed a little bit physically, and now she's not necessarily his type. So he's not really attracted to her anymore. Right? But what Caleb's saying is, well, if you looking at, you know, adult sites, then it's going to be hard for you to, I mean, yeah, you playing the game all wrong, Doc. You playing the game wrong. You playing the game wrong. You out there. It'd be one thing if you was doing that and then knocking the coins out of her. So, you know, it don't justify it, but it kind of makes it like, oh, well, you know, he's kind of doing what he's supposed to be doing. But you're not even doing that. Like, you sitting up here taking care of yourself, and you're not really doing anything for her. So you want her to be faithful and loyal to you, and she asking you, I mean, some of these ladies don't really need it like that. But then some ladies like her, she's like, man, I need this. Like, I gotta have this. And you're not giving that to her. Now, you're going to want her to keep her eyes focused on you, but you're not throwing it down, Doc. You're not putting it down. What you expect her to do? Well, I want to be open. Well, that tells her all she need to know. You want to be open. You want to explore the options. That tells you and her all she need to know. If I were her, I'd probably say, okay, after the show, there ain't much we need to talk about. I'm gonna go my separate ways. You go yours. Because you're not really focused on her. Like somebody in the comments said, and you can see it in his eyes. He's checked out of the relationship. He's not attracted to her no more.